Imagine a more beautiful thing. That's a look. Wow, look at that. Actually, hold on. Bingo, baby. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are returning, thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. So today, we changed up the scenery a little bit, and you wanna know why? Your girl's tired. And I wanna film, and honestly, the idea of setting up my entire filming setup made me not wanna film at all. We're at my desk. This is where the magic usually happens, you know. I just thought this would be a fun little change up. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna take this out because I feel like it's just not working. Yeah, let me know what you think of this. Kind of dig it. It feels a little more casual. Today, we're gonna be talking about a topic that I get asked about a lot, which is my tattoos, my permanent stickers, my nice tats. So this is gonna be kind of part one of this video because I get asked to talk about my tattoos a lot, but I also get questions related to tattoos a lot. I'm gonna do a tattoo Q&A that's gonna go up after this video. But so in this one, I'm just gonna talk about my tattoos. But first of all, look at your girl's nails. Look at these cuties. I tried my hand at tortoiseshell nails, and I just want to thank Madam Glam for sending me the products to do so. I filmed a little bit of me doing these, so I'm going to put that here. This video is not sponsored by Madam Glam. They just were nice and felt like sending me stuff, and they did, and I really liked what I did. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in here, and then we'll start talking about my tattoos. Hey, so Madam Glam specializes in offering vegan certified gel polishes, HEMA-free gel polishes, cruelty-free gel polishes, 21-free gel polishes, palm-free oil-free gel polish, and gluten-free nail and gel polishes. They were kind enough to send me over everything I need to do a manicure, which was 3 polishes, a top coat, a base coat, and this little LED lamp. I opted to try their translucent jelly polishes and their blooming gel nail polish because I've always wanted to try and do a tortoiseshell manicure. So here I've already put on my base coat, and I'm just I added 3 coats of the translucent brown jelly polish. The names of everything will be down below. Now this is me going in with the blooming gel, and I've never used one of these before, so I was very excited to try this because apparently it's kind of magical. Then to create the tortoiseshell look, I got a translucent black jelly polish as well. Then I used a daughter tool to put it into the blooming gel, and I was not let down, clearly. After that, I cured the blooming gel with the black in it. Then I went in with the top coat they sent me. It is a white top coat. And I really like these tiny LED lamps because it makes it really easy to cure the tips of your nails. Then I went in and I just wiped off my nails with some rubbing alcohol because the top coat does leave a residue. And I found some really good sunlight to record the finished product. They wore really, really well. I had no issues with chipping, none of that. Be sure to use my code MeganAnn30_1 for 30% off your purchase at the link in my bio. Let's get to talking about my tattoos. So the way I'm going to do this is I am going to airdrop these pictures to my iMac because my iMac is currently behind you. And I'm going to kind of screen record me just going through them. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so before I get into my actual tattoos, I guess a little bit of history with me getting tattooed. Let me make sure. Okay, I guess a little bit of history of me getting tattooed. So I actually started getting tattooed when I was 17. I got my first tattoo on my 17th birthday, and that's because in Michigan that was legal with parents' consent. So my parents were absolute G's and signed off for me to get my first tattoo. And ever since then, I've pretty much been getting a new one, at least one, consistently every single year. I think there was a year where I didn't get a new one, but pretty much ever since then I've gotten at least one new one. I love tattoos. I love the culture surrounding tattoos. I love the art form. I love all of it. And as an artist myself, I have like a huge respect for tattoo artists because like they don't have an undo button. And like as a graphic designer, I need an undo button, you know? I just respect the art a lot. So I love tattoos. I've always loved tattoos. With every new body modification that I get of any kind, I feel more and more like the person I've kind of always meant to be. And I love it. So yes, I am a huge believer in not skimping on tattoos. They can be very expensive. They typically are very expensive. But I always tell people that tattoos are like one of the only things that you buy for yourself that you will literally have for the rest of your life unless you choose to get them removed or something. So that's just a little bit of my history of getting tattooed, I suppose. So let's just get into them. The reason I'm doing it this way as well is because I have 12 tattoos, I think, and they're on my legs and they're on my arms. I found all the pictures from when I first got them. And so that's how we're going to be looking at them. And I feel like looking at pictures is a lot easier, so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay, so let's get into it. So this is my first tattoo. It says, "The show must go on." And I got this. This is my very first tattoo. I got it when I was 17. The artist was Micah Gunderson at Sacred Tattoo Studio. He was at Sacred Tattoo at the time. Sacred Tattoo is a tattoo studio in my hometown. It is arguably one of the best tattoo studios I've ever been to, and I've been to a few now. I love it there. And I always try and get tattooed when I go home. Not always, but if I have a tattoo in the works, I like waiting until I go home for Christmas, if I can wait that long, which now I haven't been able to. But yes, so I got this because my high school years kind of sucked. They did not go super well academically. Socially, they were fine. But like academically, health-wise, not super great. I have a whole video about my chronic illness, and I talk about my whole high school experience there with it, but a lot of it had to do with that. And I was a big theater kid for 10 years, I think. Like, it was a long time. It was one of the things I kind of had to like give up for a while when my chronic illness stuff started, because I simply just like did not have the energy for it to continue on with that and school. And so I saw a tattoo on Pinterest because 17-year-old Megan, that was like the only place she knew to go for inspiration for tattoos, that said "The show must go on." And I was like, I like that. I want it on my body. And you know what? My parents liked it too. Even my dad. And yeah. So I got it, and let me tell you, I was nervous as shit to get this tattoo. Holy crap, I was so nervous, because you don't know what it's going to feel like. You don't know what the atmosphere is like at the shop. You don't know anything. And they made me feel really comfortable. Most shops do and should, and if they don't, never go back. Yeah, and I love the way how it turned out, and it actually has kind of like spread a little bit. It's right here on me. It's on my collarbone. The ink kind of, like, sometimes it migrates depending on how your skin just takes to it. And so the lines have actually gotten thicker on this one, which I actually like. I think when I first got them, they were a little bit thin for my liking. But I know calligraphy in itself is like an art form with tattooing. So I just kind of went with it. This was my first tattoo. And honestly, yeah, I don't think I would get this again if I decided to get it now. Because I'm kind of, for me personally, I don't really like just text tattoos, or like just words, anymore, unless like the words are in the image, but I'm more partial to like image tattoos, but like, I still love it. It's my first tattoo. Has a lot of meaning because my life around that time was really, really difficult. One of the hardest times I've ever gone through, even up until now, when I turn 26 next week. It's been 10 years since I started dealing with this. And The Show Must Go On just felt very encapsulating of my outlook on life at that point. And so I don't regret it. I just don't think I would get it done like this if I were to get it done right now. In terms of pain, what I remember about this one was, so the like top of the T here is right on my collarbone, and that hurt. That shit hurt. But the rest of it wasn't too bad. So I'd say like this part right here, like at the front of the T, that hurt pretty bad. But other than that, not too shabby. Not too shabby. So let's go on to the next one. The next one is my spoon tattoo, and that one is on my ankle, if you could not tell. Here, I'll try and... There it is. Right there. Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah. Yeah, it's right there. I got this one around the same, not around the same time, but like I got this after I graduated high school. So my first one I got like my first week of my senior year or something like that, and then this one I got after I graduated. And it was because in that time I had found out about the spoon theory in relation to invisible illnesses, invisible disabilities, chronic illnesses, any of that kind of stuff, mental health. And if you're not familiar with it, I'll link it down below because I don't want to go into the whole thing right now because we'd be here forever. But if you don't know about the spoon theory, essentially it's talking about how people with disabilities, chronic illnesses, whatever, we all have a certain amount of spoons in a day, and like everything that we have to do in that day takes a spoon. So like getting out of bed, taking a shower, like doing the dishes, just really mundane things like that all cost a spoon. But we always have to have a spoon tucked away to prepare for the unexpected, to prepare for unexpected things like illness, general life stress, whatever. And that theory, I think, was one of the things that helped me explain what I was going through to my friends, to my family, just to other people, because it kind of like visualized it for people. And so the spoon theory has been a thing that is really important in my life even now. It was a big part of my senior capstone project in college too. And so I wanted to get an extra spoon tattooed on me because I knew this was going to be a thing that I was going to be dealing with for the rest of my life. And yeah, that's why I did this. And I love this tattoo. I still love it. Let me go find the name of the guy who did it. It was at Sacred again, but so his name is Ben, and his Instagram is Tattoos by Redbeard. I'm gonna have everybody that has done artwork on my body linked below because I'm a big fan of sharing them and like their Instagrams and stuff. And yeah, so I think he's in Milwaukee now, but he happened to be in Marquette, Michigan at the time. And when I went in, I was like, hey, when I was scheduling my appointment, I was like, I want to get a spoon tattooed on my ankle. Make it look like a spoon that your grandma would have. And this is what he tattooed. It looks swollen in the picture, or it looks crooked in the picture, but it's not because my ankle was just swollen. But in terms of pain, from what I remember, again, I was like 18 in this picture, or I was 18 when I got this, but this was like one of the easiest tattoos I've ever sat through, I think. Super quick, super small, and in a very easy place to get tattooed. So yeah, I'm actually gonna go put on a tank top so I can like kind of show them to you now, because I'm now realizing how old all these are. BRB. Okie dokie. It's a pajama top, but it'll do. So yeah, this is the first one. The show must go on. And if you can see, I don't know if you can, you can see what I mean about the lines kind of thickening. And I already showed you the spoon tattoo as it is now. So let's move on to the next one, shall we? I kind of dig this setup. This is comfy. This chair is really comfy. It's not sponsored. My dad got it for me for my birthday last year. I could sit in it for 14 hours. Anyways, and sometimes I do. Anyways, this is my first big papa of a tattoo. This is my girl Hilda, and Hilda was she wasn't a real person, but she was a real pinup illustration from back in the day, and she is like one of the only, if not the only, like well-known plus-size pinup. And I got this when I was 19, and so I was still like a very big person at the time, bigger than I am now. I know I talk a lot about like fat acceptance and stuff, but this was like a radical act of like body positivity for me and like body acceptance for me. And it still is. I still love this thing. Like, even though my views on fat acceptance and body positivity have changed, I still love her to death. Like, I love this tattoo so much. And the original illustration, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. It had Hilda, like her name, in the red flag, but instead of that, I put the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in it because that's where I'm from. And I always kind of wanted a tattoo with like, that was an homage to where I'm from, but I didn't want it just to be the outline. I wanted it to be kind of like worked into something. And so I figured this was like a perfect opportunity to do that. And yeah, I love this thing. This thing took a long time. So Dan Pemble, the owner of Sacred at Home, he did this, and Dan is still one of the best tattoo artists I've ever worked with. I love him and his work a lot. And he's very fast. So in the grand scheme of things, this tattoo did not take a super long time, but it still took a long time. I think I sat for like 6.5 hours for this tattoo. And I'll never forget, like, after I was like, I felt so dizzy and just tired because my body, like, your body tenses when you get tattooed. I sweat a lot. I sweat a ton when I'm getting tattooed. And so I was just spent. So I had to go home, take a nap, and then I had to work on homework till like 1 a.m. because I was in college at the time. But yeah, I love this thing. Pain-wise, it wasn't super bad. Like anything hurts after sitting for like more than 3 or 4 hours, I would say, for sure. So it hurt because of that. But in general, like the side of my thigh was like not super painful. I'd say the part that was the most tender was like the part that was below my butt. And so yeah, here, let me stand up real quick. Bingo, baby. There she is. And you can actually kind of tell she wraps a lot more now, because I've lost a considerable amount of weight since I got her, and she looks a lot more washed out on camera than she is in person. One of the things I get told a lot about my tattoos is that they look like they were done like a year ago, when really I got this done when I was 19 and I'm turning 26 next Wednesday, so it's been like 5 years. I love her so much, always have, always will, regardless of what my body looks like. Yeah, I love her so much, and I recommend Dan to like anybody like to go get tattooed by if you have the opportunity, if you ever find yourself in Marquette, Michigan. But yeah, definitely go follow him on Instagram if nothing else, because he's the coolest. Okay, on to the next one. So this one is my Tudor rose, and I got it when I studied abroad in London because I knew I wanted to get tattooed in London, because to me a tattoo was kind of like the ultimate souvenir, right? And it's right here on me, and again, it looks more washed out than it actually is, but she's still kicking it. I wanted to get something that had to do with like England, and this was it. And the woman that I got tattooed by, I don't know if she's actually tattooing anymore. Let me go see. Because when I went and got it done, the shop was closing in like a month or something like that. And it had been around for like 20 years. But again, I think I was 20 when I got this done, because I was 20 when I studied abroad. So yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I love this tattoo. A common theme is that I love all my tattoos. Like, even if they're like, I don't know, regardless of quality or who did them or whatever, which all my tattoos are really good quality because I'm like a very big snob about who does them, except I have one Friday the 13th tattoo, but whatever. I'm a big snob about quality, but like regardless of how I feel about them now, like I love my tattoos. Like, they are a part of me. They represent very important chapters of my life. And yeah, I will never regret a tattoo because I put a lot of thought into the tattoos that I get before I actually get them as well. Let me see if I can find this person. Hold on. Okay, I cannot find her. If I do, I will put her stuff like right here. And because I don't remember when the shop was closing, I can't remember if she said she was going to keep tattooing or not. I think she might have mentioned that she wasn't going to. And so yeah, I think that's why I can't find her. But her name was Lucy. She was super cool. The tattoo shop that I got it done is not open anymore. And I think this took like 2 hours, maybe. It wasn't too bad. Getting tattooed in London was a very different experience because the artists, like, you don't tip them, which was really weird for me, and it felt very strange and like kind of mean. So I brought her like a gift. My bangs, I'm so sorry. I don't know what is happening with them, but I brought her like a gift because I felt bad not tipping her anything. So yeah, but I'm super happy with how it turned out. But I love this thing. Studying abroad was the best thing I ever did for myself, both personally and professionally. I have a whole video on my study abroad experience too. I'll link that up here. But yeah, and tattoos have always been a very important thing to me, even regardless of how tattooed I've been at the time of me getting each one. And so I figured a tattoo was like the ultimate souvenir, and it was, and I love it. Okay, on to the next one. So this one, I am on the left with the Snoopy house. This one was a mother-daughter tattoo. No. This one was a mother-daughter tattoo that I got with my mama. And my mom had been threatening to get a tattoo for a while. And so I told her, I was like, hey, if you want to get mother-daughter tattoos, I will get anything. I don't care. You can pick the subject. I said, just as long as it's not religion or butterflies. Because I had a very strong aversion to like the stereotypical butterfly tattoo, but now I'm actually wanting to get like a monarch butterfly tattooed on me. Anyways, times have changed, but an artist named Josh Janig at Sacred at the time, he came out with a Snoopy winter flash sheet, and I sent it to my mom, and my mom was like, that's what I want, and I was like, okay. And I didn't really want to get matching ones per se, plus we both wanted different ones. So she got Snoopy and Woodstock ice skating, and I got Snoopy's house, and it is on the inside of my left ankle, so right here. Bingo bango bongo, baby. And when I tell you this is probably the most painful tattoo I've ever received, I am not kidding. I don't know what it is about that spot, because I've had my ankle tattooed plenty of times even now, but what this tattoo hurt so bad. And I felt so bad too because my foot kept like twitching, and so because he must have been hitting like nerve endings or something, and so he had to like hold it down with his elbow to keep it from moving. And I was like, I'm so sorry, like I normally sit really well. And he was like, it's fine. But the red was kind of a pain in the butt to heal. Red ink on anybody is a pain in the butt to heal, but I find that my skin particularly has a hard time healing red. But overall, it healed really well. Honestly, I'm very diligent about the aftercare with my tattoos, but with this one, for some reason, I was just like, meh. And I just didn't really care. I don't know why. But yeah, and so it definitely has some splotches from where like ink fell out and stuff, but they're not that noticeable, so I don't really care. And overall, like, do I love Snoopy? No. But does my mom? And was this the one that she was like adamant about getting? Yes. So I now have Snoopy's house on me, and that's okay. And if you've been noticing, a lot of the tattoos that I got at this time were like on my shoulders or on my legs, and that's because I had my dad in my ear telling me not to get any visible tattoos because they made me less employable. Which I respect where he's coming from, like that's fine, but I have since learned that pretty much the creative department in any corporate entity is kind of seen like the freak show, and everybody has like a shit ton of tattoos, so like, especially now. And so yeah, you'll see that I have ventured to getting tattoos on visible areas, but at the time, that's why they were all like on my shoulders, my ankle, like my legs, that kind of stuff. So the next one is the one that I arguably get the most compliments on, and that is my boy Gizmo. This is Gizmo. he was my cat for all through college, actually. He was my cat through college. We got him when he was like 5, I think, from the Humane Society. He was a purebred Himalayan. The only reason that that his owners got rid of them was they were pregnant, and they believed in the wives' tale that like cats sleep on babies and suffocate them in the crib. So they got rid of this precious angel baby of a boy. And we got him for $65 when a purebred Himalayan bought is like way more than that. And when we got him, we had never gotten like an older cat before, or like an adult cat before. And so we weren't sure if he was gonna like take to any of us, but immediately he was just like attached to me, and we became like best friends. And this cat was with me through so much. He was with me through my 2 grandparents on my dad's side passing away, 2 of my friends from high school passing away, my parents' divorce, all throughout college. And he was just like one of the things that remained constant, and he was so in tune to me and my body and my chronic illness and my depression and my anxiety and all that. And whenever I was having a bad day with any of those things, he would just be right next to me. And I loved this fucking cat so much. And he was like the coolest. And anybody who met him, regardless of if they liked cats or not, loved Gizmo. My dad loved him. Like my friends who really weren't that big of fans of cats loved him. Like anybody who met him just fell in love. He was the best. There will never be another Gizmo. I love my babies now. I love them so much with my whole heart. But there will never ever be another Gizmo. And so when he passed, I knew that I wanted to get a tattoo of him, and I knew that I wanted it to be big and extravagant because he was just a big and extravagant boy. And I absolutely love the way this turned out. It's on the front of my shin. I get so many compliments on this tattoo because it looks like a painting. Here, hold on. Here it is. It looks like a painting. I love this tattoo so much. And Dan Pemble, the same artist that did my Hilda tattoo, did this one. And so he matched the style and the color scheme to Hilda, which I love. I think that's so cool. It's so unique. And this just like, it just encapsulates who Gizmo was as a cat and his big personality and his big just being, because he was a big boy. I love this tattoo. I think this is probably one of my favorite tattoos that I have, and probably always will be one of my favorite tattoos that I have. But yeah, I fucking love this tattoo. In terms of time, Dan knocked this out in like 4 hours. Like, I was shocked. And it's such a high quality piece. Oh, I love it so much. And in terms of pain, honestly, the like front part, like just with his face and stuff, that didn't hurt too bad. What did hurt were these like side bits that kind of went into my calf and on the outside of my calf, because it's like really tender right there, because that's where like the most of the muscle is. And the little point at the end, at the bottom, that was like directly on my shin. But the rest of it honestly wasn't too bad. It was a really easy sit. I still sweat a whole lot, but yeah, only 4 hours, which is just bonkers to me looking back at this, because it is just such a stunning tattoo, and it looks pretty much identical in person now, like 5 years later, as it did when I first got it. So like it healed amazingly. Like it was just, ugh. And this picture is based off of an actual picture that I took of Gizmo that I'll put here, because he was the best boy. Like he was just such a special cat, and I miss him a lot. But honestly, I'm going off on a tangent. When he passed was like such an interesting time. I feel like he almost kind of like, it was just, so he got me through all of this stuff in my life, like all of these huge pivotal points in my life, and like life-changing events. And he died, or I had to put him to sleep, which was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made. I had to put him to sleep like almost right before I graduated college. And it was gonna be, I mean, obviously I was gonna take him with me wherever I ended up, but I knew that he probably wasn't gonna last much longer after I moved. And it was almost kind of like, he was like, okay, like, I got you through all this stuff. I got you through college and all the life shit that happened in between. And now it's like my time to go too. And like, that's how I've always kind of looked at it. And it was just like, the timing he came into my life, the time he left it, like, it was short, and I wish I had him for longer, but I had him in the times when I needed him. And I know this is a lot to say about a cat, but like, this cat was my best friend. Like, I loved this cat. And like I said, there will never be another him, which is why I decided to immortalize him on my leg forever. But I love him so much. And this is easily the tattoo I get the most compliments on too. So the next one is Heart Boops. That's literally what I named her. She was a Friday the 13th tattoo. I had never been in an area where Friday the 13th tattoos were available. And so my first year in Denver, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get a Friday the 13th tattoo. I do not care. It was so fun. Like, I went to Marion Street Tattoo in Denver, which is a great tattoo studio in general. They do a lot of great work. They just had the flash sheet I liked the most for Friday the 13th, and she cost $20 cash, and I waited like 5 hours in line to get her. But I met some like super cool people there in line, which is like kind of the like shtick of getting a Friday the 13th tattoo, is like, it's just a whole experience. And it's less about the tattoo and just more about the experience. And yeah, I love her. She's great. It was after I had lost a lot of weight, and I kind of was like, you know, she kind of symbolizes like me showing myself love by making this choice to get healthier, and also moving away from home, because I knew mentally that was going to be the best thing for me. And yeah, she's cute. She's on the inside of my right ankle. I love her. She took like 10 minutes, and yeah. But I am like a firm believer that tattoos do not have to have like a super grandiose meaning, and you'll see that in the ones that I talk about hereafter. But I was like, yeah, I was like, fuck it, I want a Friday the 13th tattoo. So I left work a little bit early, got $20 out of the ATM, and went and met some very cool people, and it was really fun. Okay, so the next one I got, I'm doing these in chronological order, by the way, is this tattoo. And so this tattoo, I actually drew myself. I designed this myself, and it's for my grandma. It's for my grandma Olive. She was my dad's mom. And she was like literally one of the coolest, kindest humans on the planet. If you watched my pierogi recipe video from a couple Christmases ago, that's who the recipe came from. I loved my grandma so much, and I wanted to do something really special for her. And I was the graphic designer of the family at the time, and I was tasked with designing her funeral program after she passed. And I think I had kind of had this idea in the back of my head for a tattoo anyways. And so when I was drawing the front of the tattoo program, this is what happened. And it wound up looking like a tattoo. I knew I wanted to get it. And honestly, I thought that designing my grandma's my grandma's funeral program was going to be really hard, but it was so cathartic. Like, I felt really connected to her designing it, because she was always so supportive of my art and everything I did. And yeah, and so I got this tattoo. My grandma died in 2018. I got this when I came home for Christmas in 2019. And I got this done by an artist named Nicole Potes, and she was at Sacred at the time, and she was super great. It was actually really funny because when I sent this in to schedule, because I just did like the email booking form because I was still in Denver, they called me and they were like, where did you get this design from? And I was like, I drew it. And they were like, oh, really? And I said, yeah, like, I'm a graphic designer, I drew it. And they were like, oh, okay, like, we just thought it was really good, so we wanted to make sure you didn't steal it off the internet. And I was like, no, I drew it. And yeah, so that was just funny. But Nicole was amazing. I'll have her Instagram link down below. She's not at Sacred anymore. It looks like she's in Traverse City, Michigan now, which is down in the Lower Peninsula. She was super cool. I loved her. And my dad came with me to get it done, which is cool. Normally he doesn't I don't know. He came with me to get my first one too. But other than that, he's like not super interested in my tattoos. He doesn't care that I have them. He just doesn't get into them like I do. But he came with me to get this one done. And she's just right here. Again, healed really well. And my aunt also has this tattooed. And I think a few other members of my family are looking at getting this tattooed still. So it was really cool that I could create something special that kind of lived on past the funeral program. And I love this tattoo. I kind of have a plan that like my left arm is going to be like things strictly related to like me. Now it's more going towards like me, my femininity, like that kind of thing. And my right arm is going to be things related to family. And so yeah, that's why I got this on my right forearm as well. Pain wise, this was not bad at all. I think it took like an hour and a half it took like an hour and a half, I think. But yeah, pain wise, fine. This area did not hurt. I would say like maybe towards like the top here, that did not feel good. But that was really it. I don't really remember anything too horrible about this tattoo. So next is Maeve, my flapper girl, and she's right here. I have a whole vlog of me getting her. So the story behind this one is really interesting. A artist named Mike Martino messaged me on Instagram, and I think he found me just because on Instagram I tag like all my posts in Denver, and I think he was just going through that. And he messaged me and he was like, hey, like I'm just coming out of my apprenticeship. I'm trying to build a portfolio, so I'm doing 4-hour sits for $250. Are you interested? And I looked up his work and I was like, seems promising, let's do it. And I was like, yeah, I've been wanting to get a flapper girl tattoo for a long time. For me, I think flappers are one of the first early symbols of modern day feminism. And so that's why I've always wanted to get one. This tattoo was super cool. It took like 6 hours, but bless Mike's soul, he still charged me the $250, and I was like, absolutely not. And I think I'd brought like $350 or $400 or something for a tip too. And so I was like, you're getting all of this. And if I ever get tattooed by you again, I want you to charge more because the quality of this tattoo is fantastic. She healed super well. I did not need touch-ups. Pain, this thing hurt like a motherfucker, I'm not gonna lie. It hurt really bad, but it only hurt really bad because it took so long. In the beginning, it really was not that bad, but then just as time went on, again, like this took 6.5 hours. And so after any time past like 3 hours for me, I'm just not having a good time. But I'm also impatient, and the idea of leaving a tattoo studio with an unfinished tattoo gives me a lot of anxiety. So I was like, we're gonna push through. I almost tapped out though. I almost tapped out on this tattoo and came back later. But I would say the area of the wrist right here was probably the most painful area I've ever had tattooed, next to the inside of my ankle where my Snoopy house is. But this area right here, this sucks. I know that like wrist tattoos are a really popular idea for your first tattoo. In my humble opinion, don't do that, because I think the pain will put you off from wanting to get more tattoos if you do, because this just little shit right here, that hurt so bad. But I love the way she turned out. I love how she has like different art influences in her too, from like Mike's heritage and all that. I love it. I love her. She turned out so well. She kind of looks like a Bratz doll. I love her. I love everything about her. And she just fills up my arm very well. And yeah, I get a lot of compliments on her too. Next, we're in the home stretch. We're on our last 2. Wow. So this is my just little plant boob lady. I named her Venus. I found this artist. Her name is Addison. I will have her linked down below too. She's in Denver as well. Mike's also in Denver. I found her, I think it was through like an Instagram ad that she put out with this flash sheet on it. And I was like, I need one of those. And she was an apprentice, but her work is phenomenal. Like apprentice or not, like her work is amazing. And yeah, I just loved these. And I had gone through a lot between when I got my last tattoo, Maeve, and when I was gonna get this. And to me, she was kind of like a really cool symbol of that growth that I had gone through. I had gone through a breakup, I had started lifting, I'd started really focusing on what was really important to me as a person. I really found out who I was. I had also gone through something pretty traumatic that I'll probably talk about. I was sexually assaulted. There's that. Yeah, so that happened. I've since worked through it in therapy. We're good. We're golden. It was a big point of my life, and for a multitude of reasons, and I found that this little line drawing just really symbolized that super well, and I was like, I want her. And also, she was the first tattoo that I had gotten on like my upper arm. And for me, it kind of sealed the deal that I was not ever in the future going to get loose skin removal on my arms, which was something I was very conflicted about. But I was kind of reaching the point where I'm like, you know what? My body just is what it is. If I can get plastic surgery to remove extra skin or whatever, great. If I can't, also great. And so I always told myself if I got tattoos on my upper arms, regardless of the place, if it could be avoided, even like scarring, I just wouldn't get excess skin removal surgery on my arms. So this was just a big symbol of self-love for me and self-growth, and I love her so much. Yeah, I named her Venus, and again, I put her on my left arm because I'm kind of turning in my arm into a tribute to like my femininity, and I love it. And yeah, so this was great. I love her. She healed really well again. I didn't need touch-ups. On to my most recent one, which I just got like a month or two ago. This is Marge. So again, I got this from a girl in Denver named Maddie, and I love her. She is now my go-to person in Denver. I'm actually getting tattooed by her again in October, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, I found her through an Instagram ad that she ran again, and I found these little cupies, and I saw this little diva, and I was like, I need this bitch on my arm. She is so cute. Again, oh, pain-wise for Venus, that didn't hurt at all. I mean, it did, but like it wasn't anything to write home about, and same for this. So far, I found that the upper arm is pretty painless. I also have a really high pain tolerance, so maybe my pain scale levels, or my pain scale is not super accurate for most people. But yeah, I love her. I initially was gonna get her just because I thought she was cute. Like, I didn't need like a huge meaning. I just thought she was adorable. But I got her in June, and the month of June wound up being a huge month for me, like in terms I came out and I'm in a relationship that's kind of like making me rethink everything I knew about like femininity and what it means to be a woman, and in a good way. And so like she's just like, I got her at a really cool time. I identify as one sexual orientation is definitely pansexual, and the little dots on her skirt just wound up being the pan pride colors. So I was like, perfect. I didn't even choose those. I love her. I think she's super cute. I'm really excited to keep adding to this arm, especially with Maddie, and I will have her link down below too if you're in Denver, or if you just want to look at cute ass tattoos, because all of her tattoos are adorable. Okay, I've been talking for way too long. Let's get to the outro of this video. Okay, so I hope you really enjoyed this video. I get asked about my tattoos a lot, and I've been asked to do a tattoo tour kind of like this a lot, and I'm sure I will keep doing updated ones in the future because I'm just gonna keep getting more tattoos. And I also figured too, I've gained a lot of subscribers over the last couple months, and so I thought this might be a cool way for you to get to know me. Go see some cool video, like link to other videos that are really important to me and explain stuff about me, because I think it's important to know who you're watching and to know about who you're watching, and that we're kind of more than like the reaction videos we do and whatever. And so, and I could talk about tattoos for days, as you've seen, because this video's, I've been filming for 53 minutes. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any tattoos or if you want any tattoos down below, and I'd love to talk to you about those because I love tattoos. Leave any questions you have for me down below. I am going to be doing a Q&A after this, just in case. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them, or people who read them will do their best to answer them. My comments are always very nice and helpful. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, drink your water, take your meds, and I will see you in the next one. And thank you to Madam Glam for sending me the nail polishes to do my beautiful nails. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.